This is for all Texas child care providers and child care centers. The Texas Health and Human Services sent this out at 6:34 p.m. March 15th, and it does apply to you. These are new rules and regulations that you must follow right now. Based on state law, federal guidance, and Governor Abbott's disaster declaration, the Texas Health and Human Services Commission is updating requirements for daycare operations to assist them in protecting children in the care of the coronavirus. HHSC Child Care Licensing urges all current providers to immediately implement the following guidance, which is consistent with the new requirements. These are new requirements. So if it's an requirement and it's new, guess what? If you get an inspection, they're going to expect you to be following these. Prohibit any person except the following from accessing an operation. This is for a center as well as home. Operation staff, person with legal authority to enter, including law enforcement officers, HHSC child care licensing staff, and Department of Family Protective Services staff, professionals providing services to children, such as speech therapy, children enrolled at the operation, and parents who have children enrolled and present at the operation. So only those individuals will be allowed into your home child care or your child care center. If you have a best friend who works at Walmart who wants to visit you during lunch, tell her she cannot come. If you work in a child care center and your spouse just wants to come and say hi, tell him he cannot come. Again, it has to be all the individuals listed on this list. Before allowing entry into the operation, screen all of the individuals listed above, including taking the temperature of each person upon arrival at the operation each day, and deny entry to any person who meets any of the following criteria. Now listen to that. For every person that comes into your child care home and your child care center, they are telling you you need to take their temperature. You need to take their temperature every time they come in. And this is from all the people who are listed on the list above. So if they are on this list above, if they are police officers, child care licensing, professional staff, even parents, you have to screen them by taking their temperature. If they have a temperature of 100.4 or above, signs and symptoms of a respiratory infection, such as a cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, or low-grade fever. So this means if they have a low-grade fever, they cannot come into your child care home. If they have a cough, they can't go. So if you have all these children who are coughing and the parents are saying, oh, it's just allergies, you can let them know because of what's going on, what's coming down from the governor, as well as law enforcement, as well as child care licensing. You cannot allow them into the child care. Into the child care. Sorry about that. If in the past or previous 14 days they have had contact with someone with the coronavirus, if they're under investigation, or someone in their family has contact with the coronavirus, or if they are ill with a respiratory illness, again, within the past 14 days, if they fall under any of these, you cannot allow them into your child care facility as well as your child care home. And the previous 14 days have traveled internationally to countries with widespread sustained community transmissions. Require pickup and drop off of children outside of the operation unless you determine that there is a legitimate need for a parent to enter the operation. So all these parents, when they come, they need to drop off their children outside your door. And that's where you're going to screen the children for fever and then allow them in. I recommend printing this email and posting on your door and sending it to parents so that you can let parents know to come early enough so that they're able to do all the screening that's necessary. Ensure that each child is provided with individual meals and snacks. No longer do family style meals. And if you don't know what family style meals is, it's like you got a big bowl of mashed potatoes and some crackers and some meat all in the bowl, and the children are allowed to use their spoon, or you just serve it to them separately, and they're like, no, you need it all to be separately. Child care licensing also will be issuing frequently asked questions as early as possible next week. In the meantime, you can send any questions you may have to Licensing Standard Comment mailbox. Please remember to sanitize your operation, wash hands diligently, and have staff members stay home if they are sick. We are also encouraging providers to contact Child Care Licensing with any questions you might have or technical assistance you may need. We recognize the extraordinary challenge this situation poses to your operation and pledge to offer our support, including any necessary regulatory flexibility to help you protect the health and safety of your child care. Now, again, print this off. If you need a copy, you should check. If you're a child care provider in the state of Texas, this is in your email, or if you're a center, it's in the site director and the owner's email, and they should be sharing this with you. Again, if you work in a center and you have a boss or a director who's going to try to fire you if you take off, or they're trying to threaten you, you do have legal rights in the state of Texas, and you can report that to Texas Workforce Commission. If you need, contact me directly, and I will handle it myself. I will call them myself and remind them that you are protected under the Texas Workforce Commission, and you are protected under certain laws and regulations. So they can't just do that to you. You do have rights as an employee. So as a home child care provider, if you guys have any questions, comment below. I will respond to it. If I don't have an answer, I will reach out to one of my child care licensing inspector friends and get a direct answer from them. And I will share that with you. Again, this is something to be taken seriously. Obviously, as a woman of faith, I believe that you can't have faith and fear, but you also have to be cautious and follow the laws of the land. And so the law of the land right now, straight from the governor, straight from child care licensing, is to implement these new rules and regulations. Again, email the parents, let them know. A lot of centers have already closed because the schools are closed and they follow the rule, the guidance of the school district. So a lot of franchise daycare centers have been closing. It just seems like a lot's going on and everything. As a home child care, you're allowed to close if you decide to. You don't have to. And if you don't, please make sure that you are following all of the things below. As always, thank you for joining Playtime Childcare Training, your YouTube channel where I help you to start